Did you know Elizabeth Taylor shaved her face every day? Grace Kelly swore by rose water to keep her complexion fresh and glowing. And Marilyn Monroe? She layered 5 different lipsticks to craft her signature full pout. Join us to discover many more secrets behind legendary icons and learn how their simple yet unusual routines can inspire your own beauty.
She pats it on lightly, then carefully smooths it over her face.
Audrey Hepburn, the art of effortless grace. Audrey Hepburn never tried to compete with the loud glamour of the era. She didn't need to. With her soft features and wide, expressive eyes, she became a style icon. Not through excess, but through restraint. Her look was carefully curated, yet always looked effortless. And that was her secret. Her eyebrows, full and well-shaped, framed her face with quiet confidence. They were bold without being aggressive, neat without being too perfect. When most actresses were still plucking theirs into thin arches, Audrey stood out by doing less and letting nature lead. She kept her lashes long and fluttery. Her trick? After applying mascara, she would carefully separate each lash with a safety pin. It sounds dangerous, and it was certainly not for the faint of hand. But it gave her that open, doe-eyed gaze that became her signature. Her lashes didn't clump. They whispered. Audrey believed beauty came from within, and she lived by it. She followed a simple skincare routine: gentle cleansing, daily moisturizing, and a healthy diet. She drank plenty of water and steered clear of heavy products. She didn't cake on makeup. She enhanced what was already there. Her longtime makeup artist, Alberto De Rossi, knew how to support that vision. He used soft browns and grays to contour her eyes, never dark, never harsh, just enough to deepen the gaze without stealing attention. And when it came to lips, Audrey preferred soft pinks that added color without overpowering her delicate look. She understood something that few in Hollywood did at the time: restraint can be the loudest statement of all. Audrey's beauty wasn't a performance. It was a quiet elegance that came from balance, inside and out. Elizabeth Taylor, the art of glamour. When Elizabeth Taylor entered a room, on screen or off, you knew it. She wasn't just beautiful, she was unforgettable. Those famous violet eyes seemed almost unreal, but it was the way she framed them that made them legendary. Taylor embraced drama, not chaos, but precision. Her eye makeup was nothing short of architectural. Thick, defined liner gave her a regal, feline gaze. It wasn't subtle, and it wasn't meant to be. She knew her strengths and built her look around them. But one of her most unusual beauty secrets? Shaving her face. Yes, you heard that right. Elizabeth Taylor regularly shaved her face. Not for hair removal, but for exfoliation. The practice removed dead skin cells, left her skin baby smooth, and created the perfect base for makeup. Today, it's called dermaplaning, and it's become a professional skincare staple. But Liz was decades ahead of the curve. She believed flawless skin was the foundation of glamour. Her skincare regimen was strict, almost ritualistic. Cleanse, moisturize, protect, repeat. Her lipstick choices varied, but they always suited the role. Sometimes bold, sometimes soft. But her eyes? Always the star of the show. Lashes curled to perfection, shadows in deep hues, purples, grays, browns, used to make those rare-colored eyes burn even brighter. Taylor's look was deliberate, powerful. It wasn't about looking like everyone else. It was about becoming exactly who she wanted to be, and doing it unapologetically. Grace Kelly, the quiet power of simplicity. If Audrey Hepburn was the symbol of delicate charm, Grace Kelly was the portrait of quiet nobility. Before she became a princess, Grace was already royalty in the world of film. Her look wasn't loud or flashy. It was composed, refined, almost serene. She had the kind of presence that made people pause, and her beauty routine followed that same philosophy: simplicity with purpose. Grace believed less was more. Her palette was always soft: creamy foundations, gentle blushes, and barely there eye makeup. Everything she did enhanced her natural features without masking them. She didn't want to transform. She wanted to reveal. One of her beauty staples was rose water. She used it daily as a toner to keep her skin fresh and glowing. No chemicals, no fancy bottles, just an age-old remedy passed down through generations. Her foundation always had a dewy finish, never matte or dry. A touch of soft pink blush would bring warmth to her cheeks, giving her that healthy, just-out-in-the-fresh-air glow. Lips were usually a muted coral or pastel pink, chosen not for boldness but for harmony with her pale complexion. And when it came to eyes, just a whisper of liner and a careful flick of mascara. Enough to define, never to distract. What made Grace's beauty so compelling was that it didn't demand attention. It earned it. She looked like herself, only brighter, softer, more polished. In every sense, she embodied the idea that true elegance doesn't need to try too hard. Marilyn Monroe, The Science of Seduction. Where Grace Kelly was mist and moonlight, Marilyn Monroe was fire and spotlight. Marilyn wasn't just beautiful, she was magnetic. You could feel her presence before she even spoke. But behind that sensual image was a surprising amount of thought, technique, and even science. Her skin seemed to glow under studio lights, and that wasn't by chance. Marilyn's secret? She applied a layer of Vaseline under her foundation. This gave her skin a radiant, almost ethereal sheen that cameras loved. Today, that trick might raise eyebrows, but in her time, it created the dreamlike glow that became her hallmark. Marilyn didn't settle for just one lipstick shade. She layered up to 5 colors, reds, crimsons, glosses, to make her lips look fuller, soft, and dimensional. She understood how light played on different surfaces and used it to sculpt her face like an artist. Her eyes were masterpieces on their own. White eyeliner on the waterline made them appear wider. A soft shimmer in the inner corners added depth. Her precise, seductive winged eyeliner became one of the most copied looks in beauty history. Even blush had a role beyond the cheeks. Her makeup artist dabbed some on the tip of her nose and chin to give her face a youthful flush, just enough to soften her otherwise sultry look. But Marilyn's routine went beyond makeup. She was known to take ice baths, believing they tightened her skin and improved circulation. And although it's not recommended today, she reportedly used hormone creams to maintain her youthful glow, a sign of how far she'd go for perfection. Beneath all the glamour was a vulnerable woman who understood the power of illusion. Brush stroke by brush stroke, she transformed herself into the Marilyn the world adored. In doing so, she redefined beauty as both a crafted art and a deeply personal expression. Rita Hworth, glow from the inside out. Rita Hworth didn't need tricks to shine. She had something you couldn't fake: warmth. Yes, she was breathtaking, with her flame-colored hair and sultry smile. But what made her glow wasn't just lipstick or lighting. It was the way she cared for herself, with tenderness, not vanity. Her hair, for instance, that soft, vibrant red cascade, was her crown. She treated it with oil masks, avoiding harsh chemicals and heat. She understood that true shine came from nourishment, not just styling. Hydration was a cornerstone of her beauty. Rita drank water religiously. She believed dewy, plump skin began from within, and she made time for rest, real rest. In an era of endless filming, premieres, and publicity, She protected her sleep as part of her routine. She didn't overdo makeup. She didn't need to. Soft coral lips and minimal eyeliner enhanced what nature had already perfected. She often wore blush with a gentle hand, just enough to give her that fresh, well-loved glow. And perhaps that's what defined Rita best. She didn't cover herself in beauty. She lived in it. She embraced health, light, balance. And the result was a timeless radiance that still draws us in decades later. Lauren Bacall, the smolder that spoke volumes. Some stars smiled brightly. Lauren Bacall smirked. With one arched brow and a slow turn of her head, she could command a scene without saying a word. She wasn't trying to look sweet or approachable. She was mysterious, intelligent, and entirely in control, and her look matched her presence. Bacall's eyebrows were shaped like questions left unanswered, elegantly arched, perfectly defined. Her eyes were deep-set, shadowed just enough to add depth. And her lips. She didn't favor bubblegum pinks or innocent reds. Her shades were grown up, rich browns, sultry wines, smoky plums. She used matte formulas that gave her face structure and maturity. Everything about her look said, "I know exactly who I am." Her makeup never tried to soften her, it emphasized her strength. Her complexion was kept clean, her skin healthy. But the glam, that lived in her restraint. She didn't need sparkle. Her power was quiet, calculated, controlled. Lauren Bacall's beauty was never about decoration. It was about identity. It became a kind of armor, elegant, deliberate, unforgettable. These Hollywood legends didn't just define beauty, they redefined it. Their timeless beauty routines remind us of one simple truth. True beauty doesn't age, it lasts forever. If you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss more classic Hollywood secrets.